Hi, this is Julie from the Old Tattered Flag and Ultra Punch Needle, and I thought I'd share a little video today showing how I color plan punch needle patterns from a hooked rug. By that, I mean that here at the Old Tattered Flag and Ultra Punch Needle, we sell patterns for hooking, rug hooking with wool or yarn, and punch needle patterns. Our rug hooking patterns we offer on monk's cloth and linen, and all of our patterns are printed on weaver's cloth. So the way it works here is that depending on who gets the design first, I may punch it first and then mom has to color plan her wool according to the threads, or if she hooks it first, which usually happens, I have to color plan my threads based on her wool colors. So that's kind of the way we're going to go today. And I thought this would be a great rug to show you how I do that because there's so much detail and variegation and movement and everything. So probably the easiest place to start is to show you the punch needle design. And it was easy for me to start with the two main colors, which are the green and the brown. I knew that I wanted to find a light green that was going to resemble what mom has in her rug, and that's going to pop out against the brown. And I feel like this is going to. Now, if it doesn't pop out, like really pop out like this does, I still might be okay with it because I feel like this almost has an old vintage kind of look. So I'm really hoping that it's not, how can I say this, glaringly going to pop out from the brown, which I really don't think it's going to. And I won't know until I start getting that background punched in. So these were the two easier colors. Now I use Valdani in primarily all of our designs. I sometimes will use our own hand-dyed floss if I need just a little bit of a certain color for an element. And the reason I do that is because I sell a lot of kits and I don't want the customer to have to pay for an extra $5 ball of thread when they can just spend maybe $1 or so on a skein of floss. So I primarily use Valdani, sometimes throw in a skein of hand-dyed or like a DMC or Sullivan's. So where it was going to get tricky for me for color planning was in the flowers, because my mother used a lot of splotchy hand-dyeds and plaids, and so sometimes when you're using thread, it's hard to get that look, but it's really not. So what I'm going to do to get this look is I'm going to mix these two colors together. And the way I do that is to thread one strand of each through my punch needle. You're going to pull, well, for this, you're going to pull one strand from the outside, another strand from the outside of the other ball, and thread both of them through your needle and right through your tip. Then when you're punching these two colors, it's going to give you this nice variegated look that you see similar to the rug. For this color right here, it's going to get a little bit trickier because this is a pretty busy plaid. I could be happy if I just used maybe an orange and a green and mix those together for right here to get this look. But I think what I'm most likely going to do is I'm going to do one row with orange and green, and then my second row might be maybe with green and gold or orange and gold, just to throw that third color in there. Might even throw a color, a little bit of blue in there because there's some blue right here. Even though mom chose this kind of subtle orange, I have chosen a gold for this, which I sometimes do, because my thought is that I've got two oranges here. I didn't want to throw in a third orange and have it be a little dull, even though it was going to be separated by this variegation right here. So I'm going to throw a little bit of gold in here. So let's go up here. When I'm starting a design, I always write my numbers down, and I'll use these golds here. And you can see I've started a little bit with the green right here. So here's another tricky color. Out here on these border lines, she threw in an ice-dyed wool. So you can see right here she has some orange, some green, some gold, and some brown. So again, when I'm doing this line, which is going to be up here, I think what I'm going to do is punch 2 rows. My first row will probably be maybe gold and orange. My second row might be green and brown. Now you might think that by doing that, your rows are not going to look, they're not going to blend like this, but they really do. If you look over here, and I can't show you this because this design is in an upcoming magazine. It's going to be in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, summer 2019. So you'll just have to wait until then to see. But this is actually 2 rows punched at a height of number 12, so it creates a nice fringed border to the piece. I'm not going to punch that high for this. But what we're going to do is we're going to put together the brown and the green and the orange and the gold, 2 different rows, and they're going to blend together really nicely. This right here is 3 colors, red, gold, and green over here. Mom, over here.
I got it.
Mom. So you can see they do blend together nicely. And they kind of give you the same look as a busy plaid, even though that's not that. Now up here, she's got some outlining going on with the blue. So right here again, we have the same basic, this is the same fabric that we used down in the flower down there. So I'm probably going to do maybe a couple punches with a gold and orange, and then I might do a couple punches with an orange and green just to get that look. I'm going to outline it with my blue, and that's going to give me that same look. So speaking of the blue, when I was in my office and I had chosen the colors, I thought, well, Mom has a gray around the blue star, so that's what I'm going to do. I got in here in the shop and I noticed that's not gray, it's blue on the outside of that. It's a lighter blue with some tones of silver. So I just kind of switched that up. We'll be using JP12 instead now. So you'll also see JP12 will be up here in this flower. So I kind of feel like what's in here has to be pulled out to your borders and your borderlines. So that's how I color plan from wool. Mom, do you have any advice on color planning from wool from thread?
No.
She's quiet today. Anyway, that's it from the Old Tattered Flag and Ultra Punch today, and happy punching.